Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pete, and last week we had several little filler areas that I still really enjoy. I think that they did exactly as they were intended to and really filled up some of these awkward little spaces on my island that I wasn't sure what I was going to put in them. But today we're going to move on and we are going to do resident services. We are going to do a nice little woodland resident services, and I'm very excited. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Since there is no terraforming again this week, we are going to jump straight into the pathing, and this is where we are going to kind of again do a little winding trail through these little cliffs, and then we're going to have a nice open area in front of resident services that is going to make the actual pathway to the building. Just like with the apple orchard, I'm going to do kind of an outline of the area that I want to fill in, and then we'll go ahead and move on to actually filling that area in with the interior codes. So we'll make, a nice big outline and then go ahead and fill that up. As usual, as I'm doing like these kind of filling interiors in these big pathways, I like to mix in the edge pieces with the actual like interior fill pieces, just because it makes it feel more natural. It feels a lot more like this is how the pathway is actually being walked on versus when they're like all that same path code, like that middle path code. It just looks very samey to me when I see large areas that are just pathing. So that's why I try and make my pathways less like that and more more natural in terms of I don't know, edge and corner pieces. But it's we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start filling up all of these trees. I wanted this area to, since it is probably the last little like super deep forest area that we're gonna do, I wanted to fit in as many trees as possible because I wanted this to feel like the entrance to the woodlands area on this part of the island. I wanted resident services to feel secluded and woodsy. I wanted it to feel like it was set in the forest, is what I mean to say on that. So we're going to try and fit as many trees and bushes as possible. Okie dokie, we are going to go ahead and start placing some of our light little decor items. For this area, I realized I hadn't done a wishing well at all on Glen Hollow, or on Witch-hazel. When I did several on Glen Hollow, which is crazy because I love little wishing well areas. So we're going to do one right here in front of resident services. So we're going to have a little well. We're going to have a variety of seating locations along this pathway because I figured there's probably going to be a lot of traffic in this area coming to and from, resident services. So in this area, we're going to have some more like light decor like this with the pirate barrels and the bike, but we're also going to have some general seating areas to make sure that this area feels, well trafficked, because it's going to be probably a pretty busy part of the island. So here is seating area number 1. This is just going to be, a light touristy kind of seating spot where the tourists can sit, have a nice little spot to read their newly acquired pamphlets, and then move on to the rest of the island. Alright, and seating spot number 2. This one I am kind of trying to replicate the feeling of those areas in the orchard. So I'm going to be using the ranch lowboard as a table again, and then placing some nice little hay bed seating around it. And it is now final pass time, so we're going to go ahead, drop all of those mushrooms, we're going to drop all of those beautiful little acorns and pine cones, and we're going to plant some glowing moss and weeds to make this area feel as lively as possible. Alright, there she is! I super adore the way this little kind of rustic woodland resident services came out. It's so cute. It is a nice little transition between my entrance and the other parts of this island. It's a lovely little walk to just kind of enjoy on the way to resident services from the airport, or vice versa. If you are going to be, touring the island and you start at resident services, this is a good way to start off your hike. So yeah, I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. I hope this was inspiring, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!